Okay, let's move on to the last chapter, okay, chapter 5. Right, chapter 5, I told you in the beginning, it involves quite a number of the mathematical models, right? But don't be discouraged. Sometimes the question in this chapter 5 can be can actually allow you to earn more marks compared to the other topics. Alright. So the key here is understanding. For this particular chapter, there are three important models. Chapter 5. We'll start today by referring to the Gloucester-Meager model. This Gloucester-Meager model will allow us to find out what will be the price setting by market maker. Market maker is also known as the dealer. Alright, so this is one part of market in which security are being transacted. If you recall in chapter 2, we talked about the type of organization for the market could be exchange or OTC. So if it's OTC, then the dealer will give a quotation on buy and sell price. So in Gloucester-Meager model, we talk about how this price is being set. Right? And of course, this setting of prices is taking into account that insider could trade in the market, taking advantage of their knowledge that the security is undervalued or overvalued. Yeah. So we'll come to that very shortly. This will be what we intend to cover today. Right. Then next week, right, I will cover an alternative model, which is known as a Carl model. When we cover this Carl model, right, there is two versions. The general version and the discrete version. We'll start with the general version, as it will help you to explain the narrative side of the question structure of this, right? So the type of question generally on the general model is on the discursive type of question. Alright, there will be no calculation when we talk about this particular general model. If it's calculation, usually the question is structured on the discrete model, right? So there will be a computation. But whether we are looking at general or discrete model of this Carl model, what is the key objective? The key objective, right, as I said, is an alternative to Gloucester-Meager, right? So it's also looking at price setting by market maker. But on top of the price setting by market maker. In this Carl model, it also addresses the issue of optimal trading by insiders. Right, so insiders are those with knowledge about the security, whether it's undervalued or overvalued. So these two are very important. Right? Then there's one last model that we will cover in chapter 5. This is known as the Rowe model. The objective of this model is different from the first two. The objective of this model is to prove the negative autocorrelation right, in transaction price. The reasons why there is this negative autocorrelation in transaction price is because of the price bounce between the bid and ask, right? So this is very different from the first two. So I'll start with gross term equivalent. Then next week I'll move on to the car model. Covering firstly the general version. Before we talk about the discrete version, right? How we can use the discrete version to do calculation. So the rho model is a separate a model which tries to prove that the price follow negative autocorrelation, which means if the price is up, the probability of it going down, right, is very high. If the price is down, the next movement in prices is most likely to be up, right? That's the meaning of negative autocorrelation in price movement. So this chapter 5, right, is on market microstructure. That means we are trying to understand how, right, the market is structured, and how it could actually affect us. Alright, so there are three particular issues that's been highlighted here. In studying the microstructure of the market, alright, we are trying to understand the reasons for trade. Reason for trade simply means that there are people who try to buy because they deem the asset to be undervalued, right? There are people who sell who deem the asset to be overvalued. So this is a comparison of the cash value of assets to the fundamental value of assets. Then we are also looking into the protocol of trading. This protocol of trading means how the trade are being matched. For example, in the dealer model, the dealer will quote the bid and ask. Then the customer will sell at the dealer's bid or buy from the dealer's ask. Right? But it could also be an exchange rate, where the customer submit a limit order to the market. And then the exchange will use the price priority followed by time priority to match the order that enter into the market. So this protocol of trading, the rules of trading, right, could be very specific, especially the limit order market. And you need to know that even though there is one fundamental value of asset, for example, the stock is worth $1, it doesn't mean that the stock will be transacted at $1. Most probably, the stock, even though it's worth $1, it could be transacted at 101 or transacted at 99. Why? It's because of the structure of the market. For example, dealers market, right? The bid and ask price are at different levels. With the bid lower and ask price higher. So these are the various aspects of microstructure of the market. So when a trader trades in the market, he will have to take into account of the transaction cost that he will incur. And this transaction cost, in a way, is depending on the characteristic of the market, such as the liquidity of the market and the transparency of the market. So the transparency of the market means are you able to gather some information on the transaction going on in the marketplace, right? As for liquidity, liquidity is depending on how actively the securities are being traded in the market by the buyers and sellers. So liquidity is a very important aspect. If a security is not liquid at all, then buying the security may result in you incurring a high cost, right? Paying a premium above what is fair. Similarly, if let's say the security is illiquid, right, and you have to sell it, you may have to sell it before what is the fundamental value of the security. So the liquidity, right, is one very important consideration. It will affect, right, how the price moves following a certain quantity of order being entered into the market. If a security a market is very illiquid, an order of size, let's say $1 million, could have caused a significant impact on the prices, right? For example, if let's say a security is hardly traded in a day, so you placing an order to buy $1 million worth of it, it will cause the security prices to shoot up a lot, all right? Likewise, if you sell it with such a quantity, it will cause the price to drop a lot. So this is due to the liquidity of the security, right? It's not highly liquid at all. But if you talk about security which is highly liquid, like DBS shares, SIE shares, what is 1 million order enter into the market? It doesn't cause much impact at all. So the liquidity has an important consideration for traders who trade in the market, right? Because it's part of the trading cost. The direct cost is referring to brokerage commission that you pay. The indirect cost is the cost due to illiquidity, where the price will be transacted higher or lower, depending on whether you're buying or selling. So market transparency, right, typically applies to markets such as limit order market. Right, so this order are executed fairly, and according to the trading rules. So it's not possible that the orders are bypassed. For example, if you want to buy at $1, right, and someone want to buy at 90 cents. So your orders must be done first before another order is being done. Alright, the 90 cents orders are being done. So this is transparency of the market. So this next two slides, right, 1, 2, 3. These 3 slides here is to explain to you how the limit order market works in matching orders that entered in the market in batch processing, right? Typically, this is before the market actually opened or after the market officially closed. So I'll skip this and come back to this if we have time today, right? If not, I'll do it in the last lesson, right? So I'll skip this now. Then moving on to the Gloster-Meagher model. After this slide is the Rowe model, which proved the B&R bounds will create a negative autofill relation in prices. So this is very algebraic derivation. Right, so I'll skip this. I covered it in the next lesson. I'll move on to the Gloster-Meagher model. This Gloster-Meagher model seems to be a very difficult topic, right? But actually, the calculation involved is just following a certain specified steps, right? So here the explanation of the model to you is all using algebraic expression. That's why it can be tough, right, for you to follow. So I'm going to go through this, referring to tutorial question 2. Right, I'll do this tutorial question 2 to illustrate what is Gloster-Meagher model. So you can go back and try this question number 3, which is a 2012 Zoom paper question summary. So the question will describe to you what is the probability of noise traders trading in the market, and what is the probability of insider traders trading in the market, as well as the probability of noise traders buy or sell in the marketplace. And the information about the value of an asset, right, whether it's worth 110 or worth 90, and what is the probability of that, right, will also be given to you. So in the description of the case, right, you'll be able to trace out the tree diagram, such as this. Right? So let me go through this tree diagram referring to tutorial question number 2. So you need to trace this diagram in order to work out the bid and ask price later on. So using the case, right? What is a V under bar, right? And what is a V bar, right? So this is actually referring to the 2 possible value of an asset. Understand? So the value of asset could be this 2 possible value. So the V underscore refers to the value of an asset when it's at the lower value. And V bar refers to the asset value when it's high. So now if you turn to this slide, what are the possible value of the asset? The asset value could be worth 110 or it could be worth 90. So let's say this is the value where it's low, right? So this is 90. And when the value is high, right, it will be 110. So what is this theta here, right, in your slides? Right, what is this theta here stated in the slide? It's the probability associated with the value of 90. Understand? Then this 1 minus theta is the remaining probability for the value is 110. So what is the probability of value is 90? If you look at the question, it says the asset could be worth 110 or 90, where each equally likely. So this is 50%, right? And likewise, this is also 50%. So without the other information given, what is the price set by the market maker? Price set okay, by market maker. Right, this must be equal to okay, the expected value okay, of the assets. Okay, and what do you mean by expected value? It means okay, taking into account of the possible value and the probability of the value. Understand? Okay, so this will be okay, 90 okay, multiplied by okay, 50% probability plus 110 multiplied by 50% probability. Okay, so this okay, will be 100. Right? So if the market maker okay, don't incur any cost, okay, it will try to sell the security okay, at 100, reflecting the value of the assets. Okay, but there are potential okay, trading okay, executed by insiders. Okay, so who are insiders? Right. So here we have okay, insiders. Right. Also known as okay, informed traders. Alright, so wherever I use the word insiders, okay, it means informed traders, right? Okay, okay, similarly, if I use the word okay, informed traders, it means insiders. Yeah. So what do we mean by informed traders? Okay, these traders okay, are fully aware of the value of assets. Right? They are fully aware of the asset value. That means they are fully aware okay, whether the asset is worth 90 or worth 110. Understand now? Yeah. So when we talk about okay, the informed traders, okay, since they are fully aware, okay, what would okay, they do, right? If let's say the value is 90, what do you think? If the value of asset is 90, okay, and the value of asset is 90, okay, fully aware by the informed traders, okay, would informed trader buy or sell? Buy or sell? This is the value of the asset. Okay, the execution is not done at value. The execution is done at price. Understand? Yeah. So if the value is worth 90, okay, and the insider can sell it at 100, right? Then it's a profit opportunity for them. Understand? Okay, so the informed trader okay, will sell when the asset is worth lower value. But when the asset is worth more, okay, potentially they can buy at 100. If this is the price set by the market maker, okay, they will be getting an asset which is worth more, 110. Okay, they will of course buy. Understand? So the insiders who is fully aware of the asset value, okay, this okay, will buy if the asset value is high, right, and sell okay, if the asset value is low. So this is the part where a lot of students typically get it wrong because they keep thinking about value as price. No, here you have to differentiate. Okay, value is how much the asset is worth, and the execution is done at the price set by the market maker, right? So if the market maker set it at 100, okay, then when the value of the asset is low, okay, it means the price is okay, too high, right? So the asset is overvalued. Yeah. So if the value of the asset is 110, okay, and the price okay, is potentially 100, okay, then okay, the asset is okay, considered to be undervalued, right? So here, okay, 90 okay, is a case where the asset could be overvalued. 110, asset is undervalued. Okay, that's why the insiders will okay, typically buy okay, when the asset is worth 110, sell when the asset value is 90. Okay, you must first understand this aspect first. So in this case here, okay, the market maker they only know right the distribution of the asset value. Okay, that means market maker they only know that okay, there is two possible value where the probability okay, are this. Okay, so the market maker will set the price okay, at 100, but knowing that the insider is trading in the marketplace, okay, there are insider trading in the marketplace, okay, who will take advantage of that. Okay, so what happens if let's say the market maker observe, okay, the customer is buying. If the customer is buying, this will suggest that okay, the customer could be a potential insider. Agree? Okay, he may not know whether this customer is insider or not insider. Okay, but assuming that okay, the customer who buy from the market maker is an insiders. When would the insiders buy? Only when the asset value is at 110. Okay, will the insiders buy? Agree? So if okay, someone buy from the insiders, right? The customer buy from the insiders. Okay, it will imply that okay, the probability of value at 110 okay, is probably higher than 50%. Okay, so this is what we are doing, right, in the Groston-Migron model. Relying on the order take from customer. Okay, the market maker is going to recalculate, right? What is the probability of the value is high, okay, and the value of the probability is okay, low. Okay, initially, this is what he deduced, equal probability. But there's an implication when the customer is buying. Okay, even though the customer may not be an insider, right? But once it's an insider, it will imply that the probability of value is high is higher. Okay, so this is what the okay, market maker is trying to do. Okay, besides insiders or informed traders, there's another type of traders which is called uninformed. Okay, uninformed. Okay, it's also known as liquidity traders. Right, this guy here are the one without the specific knowledge about asset value. Okay, so this guy are very similar to market maker. They only know about there are two potential value, right? And the probability of the value is high and low is 50%. Understand? Okay, so this one does not have info about true value of assets. Right? Only the insiders know. Okay? This guy they don't know. Right? And hence when they trade, it's based on the assessment of what is the expected value of asset compared to the price set at the market maker. So this is why when you look at the question 2 here, it says 80% of the time the noise traders will trade in the marketplace. This noise trader is referring to the uninformed, right? Noise traders. Who do not know the exact value of the assets. Alright? And what is the probability of them buying or selling? It's 50% each. Alright? So they don't know what is the actual value of the asset. They only trade based on their own forecast. Alright? Which could be wrong. Yeah. So you must know there are two groups of traders out there who will be executing the trade against the market maker. So now when we talk about market maker, the market maker will receive the customer order to buy or the customer order to sell. Right? If the customer order is buy, then what is the price set by the market maker? Ask of it. Ask. So customer buy at ask price. Understand? Customer buy at ask price. So when customer buy at us, it means dealer sell at us. Alright? Once the market maker receive the customer order that the customer like to buy, this will cause the market maker to revise the probability that the value is high. So it will work out what is the probability? Right, that the value is high. Right, now that he learned that the customer is buying from him at his ask price. So what is the writing of this is we are trying to find out what is the probability of the value is high when the customer is buying. Alright? So what is the value where is high? This is 110. Right? Then we have another one. The value is 90. So what is the probability of value is high when the customer is buying? Okay, it will give you the probability of the other value. Okay, so once you work out this, there's no need for you to work out this again, right? Using the base rule that we are going to cover later on. Right, so this is the probability of value is low, right? Condition on customer is buying at the dealer's ask. So our objective is to work out one of this probability here. Okay, once you work out this probability, you will be able to work out the ask price of the market maker. Right, what is the ask price? The ask price of the market maker is based on the revised probability of the value is 90 and 110. Right, so he will be using the probability of value is high, condition of customer is buying at ask. Then you multiply by the value is high at 110. Right, then you add the probability of the value is now low, condition on the customer is buying at ask, right, multiply by the value is low. So that will give us the ask price set by the market maker. As for the bid price, bid price is due to customer buying or selling. Selling, right? So this is customer sell at the dealer's bid. Right, and similarly, when we talk about customer sell at dealer's bid, we are going to find out what is the probability of value is high. Now the transaction is at B. Right, so likewise, what is the probability of value is low, condition on the transaction is done at B. So this is value at 110, this value at 90. Then you'll be able to work out what is the probability, what is the price at B. Right, using the revised probability. Right, so you use probability of value is high now that the customer is selling. Multiply by the value is high, which is 110. Plus the probability that the value is low. Now that the customer is selling, right? Then multiply by the value is low. So in the Gloucester-Milgrom model, what is your main job, right? Is to find out the probability of the value is high or low, based on the fact that customer is buying or customer is selling. Accordingly, it will allow you to work out the ask price and the bid price. So once you understand this concept, right, it will be easy. Just simply referring to the tree to extract this figure. Understand? So what I've described to you is known as the adverse selection problem of trades. A buying transaction always takes place at the ask price. A sell transaction always takes place at the bid price. The probability of low asset value and a sell transaction at bid price by informed traders, right, is Peter mu. And the probability of a low asset price D underscore and a sell transaction at the bid B by an uninformed noise trader is theta multiplied by 1 minus mu multiplied by half. Right, so what exactly is this? It came from the probability tree diagram. Right, so the market maker problem is to determine the bid and ask such that the market maker will make zero profit out of the transaction. So you must know that in this model here we assume a market maker is just providing a service, right? So you don't intend to earn money, but when you provide this service to allow customer to buy or sell, you don't want to incur losses as they're selling an asset which is undervalued or buying an asset which is overvalued, right? So he's going to set the price such that he takes into account that there are informed traders who will trade in the market. And these informed traders will only buy when the asset value is worth higher value. And they will only sell right when the asset value is low, right? So this is the thing that the market maker must take into account. So now we are trying to work out, okay, what is this probability here? Okay, similarly, okay, this is the probability should customer, okay, choose to sell. Alright, so allowing the market maker to set the ask and the bid price accordingly. So the problem with the case is, okay, we don't have this probability straight away. Alright, if you look at the case, alright, first we are given, okay, the probability that the value is high or low. Okay, if it's high, it's 110, low is 90. Okay, they are equally likely. Next, okay, we are told that 80% of the time, the noise traders will trade in the marketplace. Okay, so from this value is 90. Right, we can extend it to explain whether it's a trade against noise trader, or this is a trade against insiders. Right, so this is informed traders. Right, this is a noise traders. Referring to the diagram in your slides, the probability for informed traders to trade, this is using the Greek mu. Right, so the probability of noise traders trading, this is 1 minus mu. So what are you given in this question? You are actually given 1 minus mu. Okay, so you are given, this is actually 80%. So you will know that, what is the probability of informed trader trading? This will be 20%. So they will not give you every information, but you will be able to work out with the information given to you, the remaining unknown. Alright? So the informed traders will trade with the market maker 20% of the time, where the noise trader will trade with the market maker 80% of the time. When the noise trader trade with the market maker, the noise trader may choose to buy or choose to sell. Because they're not aware what is the exact value of assets. So what is the probability of them buying or selling? It's given by this part here. The noise trader may buy or sell with 50% probability. So it's 50% probability. How about this? What about the informed traders? What is the decision of informed traders? I said sell, right? Because the value is 90, where the price could be potentially higher, right? So it means the asset is overvalued. So the informed trader will sell, knowing that the value is 90. What is the probability of that? Right? It's 100%. So this part of the diagram you have to add it yourself. With the knowledge that informed traders will only sell when the value is low, right? And buy when the value is high. So next we complete the tree based on value is 110. So similarly, we could have the trade by informed traders, or the trade by noise traders. Right, so the probability is 0.2 and 0.8 as described to us. What is the noise traders execution? They can choose to buy or they can choose to sell. Where the probability is 50% each. And this informed traders, will always choose to buy where the value of the asset is high. Right? And the probability of that is 100%. Understand now? So what we like to know is the probability that the value is high if the customer chooses to buy at ask. But when you look at the tree diagram, it's the opposite. Right? We know that the customer is buying where the value is high. That means where the customer is buying condition on the value is high, right? Or the customer is buying condition on the value, customer is buying condition on the value is low, or the customer is buying condition on the value is high. Okay, what we like is the opposite, right? What is the value of the asset is 110? Okay, if the customer choose to buy. Okay, what is the probability of the value is 90? Okay, when customer choose to buy. Okay, so this requires us to apply the Bayes rule. Okay, so what is Bayes rule? In probability, right? Okay, this is the Bayes rule here. Okay, so if you apply the Bayes rule, right, we are trying to work out the probability of event A, condition on event B. This can be calculated using the probability of event B, condition on A. Right, so it's the reverse of the sequence. And you multiply by the probability of event A. This is unconditional probability. This is conditional probability. Right? Then you divide by the probability of event B. Right? So this unconditional probability. Right? Likewise, this is also unconditional. Right? Whereby this is the conditional probability. So this is a general rule. Right? Now we apply it to our situation. What do you like to know? Let's say we like to know what is the probability of the value is 110. Now that the customer is buying. Alright? So what is the probability of the value is 110. Condition on customer is buying. Right, what is this? So this is our event A. This is our event B. So applying the Bayes law, right, we just swap the position. So we are trying to rely on the probability of customer buy. If the value of the asset is high, which means it's 110. So the conditional probability will have to multiply by the unconditional probability of what? Event A, B, event A, probability of event A. So probability of the value is 110. Okay? Then divide by the probability of event B. B here is customer buying, right? So probability of customer buy. Right? Yeah. So we are going to get this probability from the tree diagram. First one is the unconditional probability that the value is 110. I'm talking about this. Why is this probability here? Is this? You got it? Right? Because probability is not conditional on any event. So the probability that the value is 110 is the probability of 50%. So we have this number now, right? This is 0.5. Alright, referring to this. Then we look at the probability where the customer choose to buy if the value is 110. Condition of value is 110. So now we look at this, right? we ignore this, okay, because this is where the value is 90. We look at this, okay, the value is 110, right? When would customer buy? Here and here, correct? Okay, the buy transaction could be executed by insiders. Okay, the buy transaction can also be executed by the noise traders. Okay, so we have to add the two probability together. So condition on value is 110. Okay, that means we don't count this 0.5. Right? We count the probability from here onwards. So what is the probability of buy trades by the informed trader? 0.2 times 1. The noise traders will buy when the value is 110 with a probability of 0.2 times 1. Understand? So this is one of them. 0.2 times 1. This is the probability of buy by informed trader when the value is 110. Next. There's also a possibility of noise trader buying, right? What is the probability of this buy trade condition on the value is 110? So don't count this 0.5. It's a conditional probability. So it's 0.8 times 0.5. Understand? Yeah. So the probability of noise trader buying when the value is high is a 0.8 multiplied by 0.5. So this is the probability of customer buying condition on value is 110. Based on informed trader buying or noise trader buying. Right? Then you multiply by the unconditional probability that the value is 110. Understand? So next, we look at the probability of customer buying, not condition on anything. How to work on this? We have a total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scenario. What is the probability of the first scenario? What is the probability of the first scenario? For the first scenario, when you refer to the value is 90, and informed trader sell, the probability is 0.5 where the value is 90, multiplied by 0.2 where the informed trader is executing, multiplied by 1 where the informed trader was selling. Understand? So this is the probability of the event sell by informed trader when the value is 90. It's basically 0.5 times 0.2 times 1. Then continue to work out the other scenario. What is the probability of buy trades by noise trader where the value is 90? So this event here will have a probability of 0.5 times 0.8 times 0.5. Understand? So it's a 0.5 probability of value is 90 times 0.8 noise trader executing times 0.5 where the noise trader is buying. Then for this, it's actually the same. Alright? It's 0.5 times 0.8 times 0.5. So this is 0.5 times 0.8 times 0.5. Alright, so you just complete the other part. Alright, here is informed trader buying where the value is 110. So it's 0.5 again where the value is 110. Multiplied by informed trader executing with 20% probability. And 100% of the time they will be buying only. Alright, so this is 0.5 probability of value is 110. 0.2 the probability of informed trader executing. And 100% that you will be buying. So next we work out this, the probability of noise trader buying. Again, probability that the value is 110, times probability of noise trader executing, times probability of A buying, right? So this is 0.5, times 0.8, times 0.5. Right, so here is a repeat. I just want to tell you that in this case here, the distribution is symmetric. But in the exam, examiners may always change it to asymmetric. So don't always memorize by the number. Right? You have to know the conceptual calculation. For example, right, the examiners can change this probability of noise trader buying and selling into 0.6 and 0.4. Then this probability and this probability will not be the same. Understand? Right? So always remember, okay, you need to know how the number is actually calculated. Okay, so let's work out the number. Okay, so here we will have 0.1. Alright, for the first outcome, okay, then the probability of this is 0.2. Okay, 0.2. Alright, again, do the calculation again, this is 0.1, okay, 0.2, okay, and 0.2. So you know that the sum of all the probability is 100%, okay, because these are all the outcome. Understand now? Yeah. So we want to know what is the probability of customer buying, right? What is the probability of customer buying? 2 buy if the value is 110, and there's one more buy if the value is 90, and that is by the noise trader. Okay, so if you add up all the probability of buy trades, okay, it will give you the unconditional probability of buy trades. So you add up 0.2, plus 0.1, plus 0.2. Understand? Yeah. So this will go to the bottom, right? 0.2, plus 0.2, plus 8.1. Okay, so basically you have a 0.6, right, calculation. You get this? Right? So we already have this probability. Okay, if the customer is buying, okay, the customer could be potentially an insider. Okay, and hence it will raise the probability of the value is 110. Initially, before the customer order arrived, okay, the market maker think that the value is high, is only 50% probability. Okay, but when the customer choose to buy, okay, now he think that this probability is no longer 50%. What is the probability? 60%. So if this is 60%, then what is the probability of this? Remaining 40%. That's why I say you don't need to use the base rule again to work out this probability. Once you work out this, you can work out this easily. Understand? Yeah. So we are going to use this probability here to work out the ask price set by the market maker. So what is the ask price set by the market maker? Okay, it's ask price because the customer is buying. Alright, so the market maker is selling. So use the probability that the value is 110. Okay, now that the customer is buying. Right, so the revised probability you multiply by the value is 110. Okay, then plus the probability that the value is low at 90. Okay, condition of customer is buying. Right, then you multiply by the value is low. Okay, so the probability that we work out, this is 0.6. Right, the value is 110. And this probability is easy, right? This is just 1 minus the probability that value is 110, condition of customer is buying, right? So it gives you probability of 0.4. Okay, then you multiply by the value is 90. Okay, so before the arrival of customer order, the market maker set the price at 100, but now the customer order is buy. What is the price set by the market maker? Okay, you do this calculation, 0.6 times 110 plus 0.4 times 90. Okay, it will give you the price which is 102, is it? 102. Yeah. So this is the price set. Okay, if the customer choose to buy. But if the customer chooses to sell, okay, then what should we do? We will have to find out the bid price of the market maker. So the bid price of the market maker, okay, rely on this probability now. Right? We have to work out what is the probability of the value is 110. Now that the customer is selling, not buying. Yeah. So can you use the base rule, okay, to work out this? Alright, try it on your own. Okay, see whether you can get this one. Alright, so okay, try out yourself. Okay, what is the probability? Okay, that the value is 110. Okay, now that customer is not buying, okay, but customer is selling. Right? So can you show the base rule calculation now? Okay, what is the probability? 0.4, right? Okay, here we are using the base rule. Okay, where we take the conditional probability of customer selling when the value is 110, multiplied by unconditional probability of 110. Okay, but if you look at this calculation here, what is 0.5 times 0.2, okay, times 1? Okay, it's actually this probability of 0.1. Okay, wait, no, okay, this one here, okay, 0.1. Understand? Okay, so if you take the unconditional probability of the value is 110, okay, you multiply by the conditional probability of informed trader buying, right? 0.2 and 1. Okay, they give you 0.1. Okay, so here, right, if you multiply this in, it just give you the probability of scenario, where the informed trader will be buying when the value is 110, right? This probability here. Right? So if you consider this 0.5 here, you multiply by 0.8 and 0.5. Right? This will give you this probability. Okay? It's actually the probability of value is 110. Multiplied by the conditional probability that the noise traders will be buying, so times 0.8 and 0.5. So once you get this tree diagram, if you want to work out the probability, it's actually very, very fast. When you want to know what is the probability of a value is 110. Now that the customer is buying, right? right? You just need to compare, okay, the buy scenario when the value is high, okay, so it's 0.1, 0.2, total 0.3, right, to the total probability of buy trades, right? So it's a 0.2, 0.1, 0.2. Okay, so it's 0.3 divided by 0.5, which gives you the 60%. So now that we want to work out this. What is the value of the asset is 110? Now that the customer is selling, Okay, and here we simply take the sell trade probability, branching out from this value is 110, right? So this will be 0.2. This is the only outcome, right, where it involves a sell transaction. It's actually by noise traders who are not aware that the value is actually 110, right? So the sell transaction has a probability of 0.2. What is the total sales probability? Total sell is the sell can arise from value is 90 and arise from value is 110, right? So there's one sell here, another sell probability here, and another sell probability is here. So what is the unconditional sell probability? 0.2 plus 0.2 plus 0.1, right? So there's a 50% chance that there's a 50% chance that the customer is selling. But what is the chance of the customer selling when the value is 110, right? The chance of customer selling when the value is 110 is only 20%. So you just take 0.2 here, divide by 0.5, and that will give you 0.4. Right? So that's the faster way to get the probability. But if you don't know, then you just follow this base law accordingly. Got it? So now we have this probability. We can work out the bid price. What is the bid? The bid is now based on the probability that the value is 110. Given that the customer has sell, not buy, right? Then you multiply by the value that is high, plus the probability that the value is low, where is equal to 90. Condition on customer is selling, right? Then you multiply by the value is low, right? So you're using the revised probability now. So we have a probability of 40%. That the customers will be selling given that the value is 110, right? So we multiply by value is 110. Plus the probability that the value is 90 if customer is selling, right? So this is 60%, work out based on 1 minus 0.4, right? So we multiply by 90. So this will give you the bid price, which is 98. So we have answered this question number 2. What is the bid and ask price in the first round of trading? That means the market maker just open for business. Then the customer comes to the market maker and say, hey, what is your bid and ask? Right? That is before any arrival of customer orders. So the market maker will quote 98 and 102. This is the quotation by the market maker. Right? Because if the customer buy, then this customer could be a potential insider. It will cause the probability for value is 110 to be higher. Right? That's why it resulted in a higher price set by the market maker. But if the customer is selling, again this could be a potential insider. And hence the probability that the value is low will be revised upward. Right? And it causes the price set by the market maker to be 98. But at this price, the insiders will still be making money, right? Isn't it? Because if the value is 90, what happened to the price set, right, is 98. So the insiders will be able to sell at 98, and big sell at 98 for something which is worth 90. Alright, so insiders is still making money. Otherwise, if let's say the value is 110, the insider is buying at the price of 102 for something which is worth 110. However, if let's say the insider continue to do it, the price has been set at 102. The insider buy at 102 for something which is worth 110. Okay, it will cause the transaction to be executed at 102. What happened next? First round, the ask price is set at 102. And the bid price is set at 98. So we will not know what will be the actual execution by the insiders, right? It actually depends on whether the asset is worth at 110 or 90. Okay. But once the execution is done, right? Let's say the execution is done at this level. Okay, the insider actually buy at the price of 102. Okay, so the first order has been done already. This is the first round. What will be the bid and ask in the second round? Right, the first round, the bid and ask is quoted at 98 and 102. But what will be the bid and ask quoted by the market maker for the second trade? Okay, of course, this will depend on what will be the execution in the first round. First round 102, this bid and ask is going to be different. Compared to the first round, is executed at 98. Right? The bid and ask is going to be different, no? Okay, so if you want to do the calculation, you have to do it 4 times, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, in the second round. So it's very unlikely that the examiners will ask you. The second round bid and ask. Okay, the probability of asking you for the first round bid and ask, right, is almost 100%. So you don't need to know the calculation on the bid and ask in the second round. No need. Okay. But I will just show you the bid and ask calculation in the second round for this part here. Okay, to give you an understanding, right, what happened in the second round. So first round, this is our tree diagram. Right? This is the first round tree diagram. Okay, it started with 50% each. Okay, where the value is 90 or 110. So what happened in the second round? Okay, second round, it will depend on whether first round is done at bid or ask. Alright? So if let's say we talk about this is done at ask. Alright, this is done at ask, first round. So there is 2 possible value. No change to that. Right? The value could be 90 or the value could be 110. Okay, what is the probability of this and this? Let's say this. Okay, what is the probability of value is 110? Is it 50%? What is this probability now? Is it 50%? It's 60 already. Right? 50 is before the first round. Right? Before the arrival of customer order, it's 50% probability that value is 110. Okay, but we have already do this calculation. Okay, if the transaction is buy by customer, right? Customer buy at us. Okay, the value of the probability is 110. The probability of value is 110. It's now 60%. So this will change this part here. Right, this is 60% and this is 40%. This changes. Okay, then the remaining part is the same. Okay, here we have informed trader. Right, this is noise traders. Okay, this is informed. Okay, this is noise. Right, here the probability is 0.2, 0.8, 0.2, and 0.8. Right? Okay, then informed trader, if this value is 90, okay, they will be 100% sell. Right? Okay, informed trader, if no, okay, this value is 110, okay, guarantee, okay, they will be only buy 100%. But for noise trader, okay, has it changed? Okay, no change, right? Okay, buy and sell. Right, this is 50% each. Okay, so this is buy and sell. Okay, this is 50% each. So in order to do the calculation of the next ask or bid price, right, we work out what is the probability of all this event. Right? So price changes, this is no longer 0.5. Okay, this event here will have a probability of 0.4 times 0.2 times 1. Okay, this has changed. Right? Now what is the probability of this? Okay, again 0.4 times 0.8 times 0.5. Okay, this is also 0.4 times 0.8 times 0.5. Right, so this is a probability of 0.6 times 0.2 times 0.1. Okay, this is a 0.6 times 0.8 times 0.5. Right, and lastly 0.6 times 0.8 times 0.5. Alright, so can you do the calculation on the probability here? Okay, so this is 0.08, right? Okay, this is 0.16. Okay, this is 0.12. Okay, this is 0.24. Right, so you must tally that this is 100%. Okay, so now we work out what is the ask price? Right, what is the ask price in the second round? Right, to do that, we must first find out what is the probability of customer. What is the probability of value is high? Condition on customer buy in first round, and also customer buy in second round again, right? Both times customer is buying. Okay, so we work out this value, right? What is the probability? I say you just need to compare the probability of customer buying when the value is 110 to the probability of customer buying, right? Regardless. Yeah. So here we just need to take this probability plus this probability, go to the top, right? So 0.12 plus 0.24, and divide by the probability of all the buy trade, which include this. Right, so it's 0.12 plus 0.24 plus 0.16. So this will give you 0.69. So the probability of value is 110 is now higher. Earlier on is 60%, now it becomes 69%. So what do you expect will be the price set by the market maker? Ask price in the second round. Okay, very easy, right? Okay, this is 0.69 multiplied by the value is 110. Okay, then the remaining probability is 1 minus 0.69, okay, it gives you 0.31, alright. Okay, then multiplied by the value is 90. Okay, so what happened, right? Okay, okay, so this becomes 103.8. Okay? So you'll be able to work out what is the bid price as well. Alright? Okay, so what is the bid price? Okay, you can work out this bid price here by comparing. Okay, the value is high, right, where the customer choose to sell. Right, so it's 0.24 divided by 0.08 plus 0.16 plus 0.24. Okay, so this is 55. Okay, whereas this is remaining 50%, okay, times 90. Okay, so this gives you 100. Alright, so I've shown you for this calculation. Okay, when the first round is 102, and it's executed at this price, right, this will become 103, 0.8, and this will become 100. Okay, if you go ahead and try this calculation on own, right, you will get this is 100, right, and this is I think if I'm not wrong, I think you will get about 96.2, right? Yeah. So these are the possibility. We can work out the first two rounds of B&R. So if you are standing here, will you know what will be the outcome? You will not know what is the outcome, right? It's possible that the transaction price is 102, followed by 103.8. It could be 102 followed by 100. It could be 98, followed by 100. Or it can be 98 followed by 96.2. So if let's say there's no insider trading in the market, what is the expected price of the security? If there's no insider trading market, there's equal probability of all this happening. So the transaction price will be 100, no change. Understand? But if let's say the insider is trading in the market, it will be one-sided. For example, you know that asset value is high. You always buy and buy and buy, right? It will cause the price to be moving up. So in a market where the insider is buying, right, it will cause the quotation of the B&Rs by market maker to be higher and higher in each round. So that's how the market maker will protect himself. By revising the prices up, you'll be able to reflect the value ultimately, right? Or revising it downward, you reflect the value ultimately. So what is the total correlation okay, of transaction price. Alright, what is the total correlation of transaction price? If there's no insiders, okay, what is the total correlation of transaction price? Okay, just think about EMH. What does EMH tell you? The price follow what? Random walk. So the correlation of transaction price will be what? 0. So this is different from the row model, okay, where it suggests there is a negative autocorrelation. Understand? Alright, so I'll cover the other model in the next lesson. Okay. So remember the second round, okay, you don't need to know the detail, right? Okay, here is the part where you can actually the autocorrelation aspects. Okay, so I'll go through the other models this week.